What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Echo and the Bunnymen. And we're returning to the 1987 self-titled album. Thank you as always to Amber. And the next track is New Direction, a relatively simple phrase, but one which suggests motion, time, and change all at once. Ultimately, you could choose a new direction based on necessity or particular circumstances, though it could also be by choice, volition, the desire to alter your trajectory, and of course that could be more literal or figurative, maybe both. Either way, I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Echo and the Bunnymen. The track is New Direction, and it's from their 1987 self-titled album. if you're still giving us lyrics, don't fade out. So yeah, I'll try to start with the lyrics. It sounds like, whether it's as overtly religious or more figurative or conceptual, it sounds like he is taking communion and he has heard divine speech that has inspired him to resurrect himself and to climb in a new direction higher and higher and to reach some plane of feeling, of experience, of life that was hitherto out of reach or not even on his radar. So again, that could be more figurative, meaning not overtly religious, but just he heard the call and he decided to resurrect himself and change his life. But of course, a lot of that phrasing is very overtly or explicitly religious based, so it feels like maybe it is as on the nose as it sounds, and this was about a very spiritual awakening. But yeah, it sounds like he's moving from some rut or from some place of depression up into the heights of this divinely inspired new direction, and he got there by confessing and then drinking wine and taking bread. Again, it sounds like formal communion. So yeah, I feel like this might be seen very directly as a spiritual song and one about spiritual renewal. But again, I think you could also take the lines on a more figurative or conceptual level and just about it being about a rejuvenation and a recommitment to yourself, to not languish down on the ground, but to seek out a new direction through getting these sins or transgressions off your chest, cathartically dealing with them and moving on. So either way, I love the sonics. I love that very fast kind of jangly guitar, I think, as well as the more sonorous and epic electric guitar on top of that. There was that plinking style, I think, keyboard line, but it was more just like a pulse in double time, which gave that gave the overall track a very notable rhythm or energy to it. And indeed, the track overall just had a lot of, not like tempo, it wasn't a terribly fast tune, but it did have a lot of energy. It was a very full and driving type of tune, and I enjoy the vocals, which stretch from very big and epic down to almost spoken or more direct and sort of getting across a message before then flying up into the higher ranges, which again feels like it might be playing off of the lyrics. So yeah, again, it's another tune that sounds more like the reputational understanding I had of Echo and the Bunnymen before I began going through their early stuff, and it was like, oh wow, this is a bit darker, kind of has a post-punk vibe. So it's been really interesting to go through this album, even though, again, I know I've jumped over a couple, and I absolutely will go back for those when we finish this. But this sounds like the impression I had in my head for many years of Echo and the Bunnymen, despite only having heard one or two of their tracks up until that point. So yes, this album has been very enjoyable. Thank you again to Amber. Let me know what you think of the tune, and I will see you next time. Peace.